Guys, we are back again with Kickin Cancer Cares on KSLM Radio. Our sponsor for the second half is Venti's Cafe. They're downtown Salem. So if you were looking for vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free options, they're your go-to. They've got amazing options. Their lentil mushroom burger patty is so good. You don't even know it's not beef. It's amazing.
Well, and you had a great time with cooking it too.
Yes, and it smells phenomenal. Oh my gosh! But I love mushrooms, and so that I was in heaven with that one. But it doesn't even really taste like mushrooms. It tastes just like a beef patty. It was bizarre. So go check out Venti's, you guys. It is amazing.
That's my family's favorite restaurant.
Is it?
Yeah, my boys love it. We used to in the summer. Every Sunday, I'd give my wife a little bit of a break, so I'd take the boys, we'd go ride the bikes around Minto Brown and over the bridge, and always park by Venti's, so we would load up back there and have lunch before we go home. They love the nachos.
Yes, the nachos.
Yeah, oh, yes.
You had the nachos yet?
I've not yet.
So you can get them vegan, or you can get them with chicken. They always get them with chicken.
Okay.
And then I usually do one of their rice bowls.
Okay, perfect. And I seen that, I know I mentioned this last time, but I just love that Dino is the owner, and he's amazing. It's him and his wife, and they are going to stop serving hard alcohol to try to help just people have a better, healthier mindset and just take away, because hard alcohol can be such a problem for people. And so I love how they're just really healthy, mind focused with just body, heart, and soul, and all the way across. So it's pretty cool. So thank you, Dino and Venti's. Go check them out. You guys are amazing.
Yeah.
And Dino does have such a heart for the community.
He does.
Oh, yeah.
I got to go when they hosted Salem Chamber Greeters and listen to him tell his story of starting across the street
Yes.
in this little tiny place and then being able to expand where he's at. But his heart the whole time for community and for people and for service was just an amazing story. I'd never heard it before.
Yeah.
And his heart. And so now every time I see him, I run into him at Chef Store when I'm buying food.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I get to say, hey, Dino, it's good to see you. We sit there and talk for a little bit.
That's awesome.
He just cares so much.
Yeah, he really does. So that's awesome.
Well, I know there's a few stories that you wanted to ask these guys about.
Yeah, well, I know during the break, Matt, you were talking about Ozzy and her mom, and that was the one that touched me.
Hard one. That was a hard one.
I think with kids, especially young kids, and his mom, Shyla, as a mom, it hit me really hard, harder than I actually expected it to, and just building the relationships with them. And you had mentioned off air how you had helped, and so can you just share that story?
Yeah, so I knew about Ozzy and his struggle and how Kickin Cancer had come alongside. This was before I was on the board, but I never met Ozzy's family. I saw him at the first honoring dinner that I catered. He was in the wheelchair. The first time I had ever seen him, but that was from a distance. And so last year's honoring dinner, I showed up, brought the food like I always do, ready to serve, and just make sure everybody has a great night. And at the end of the program, this lady came up and just gave me a hug and just started weeping. I was like, I don't know who this is, but I just held her.
Yeah, she needed a hug.
She needed a hug.
Yeah.
And I give great hugs, so I'm like, I'm just going to hug her.
Got you.
And so she just kept weeping, and then she finally said, thank you for all the food that you gave to us while Ozzy was still here. And at that moment, I knew exactly who it was.
So she said the name Ozzy.
As soon as she said Ozzy's name, because I'd never met her, but I knew Ozzy. And I knew that had to have been Ozzy's mom.
Right.
And how that all came about is one of my good friends, David, with Gracie Sweets and Treats. He came to the restaurant and he said, Matt, we want to do something for Ozzy. Can we get some meals for Thanksgiving and Christmas so they don't have to worry about cooking while Ozzy's really battling right now? And I was like, yeah, of course. And they were going to pay for it. And I said, no, I'll just donate. That's easy. I can just give you these meals. And so we donated it as a business to just, again, it's a simple thing that we can do as community members for somebody struggling, is whether it's a meal or a hug, is really give something small, but it means the world to the families.
Oh, yeah.
And it meant so much to her that she had to come up and say thank you, because it was that powerful.
Right.
But for me, it was something super small. It was just 6 meals, both for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah.
Not that much.
But you don't realize how much just a small gesture can mean to those families. That Shyla was, because I got pretty close to her through you, and it was emotional. She was, and so not having to cook and tend to simple chores like that so that you can spend that extra time loving on your kid and your family. That's nothing can replace that. Or so that was amazing of you. So thank you for doing that, because it may have been simple to you, but it was the world to her.
Well, a huge shout out to David for
Yes.
even thinking of that, coming alongside them like they did. He took them several gift cards from my restaurant. He took food from other places. They really picked up some slack for them and walked alongside them.
And that kind of plays off of how our community, how we all as a community rally around one another and build each other up. And that's what we did for Ozzy.
Yeah, I know that one of the hardest episodes for the two of us was Jennifer Beaumont down in the Albany area. She was not doing well. And we talked about her situation and Ozzy's situation, and we both got a little teary on that. Little teary on that one.
It was really hard. I really thought he was going to make it, and I don't know if that was just me pushing and being positive and joyful, but he seemed to be doing so well. He had a turnaround, and then just took a dive.
When he had a chance to go to the baseball game and throw that pitch out from the wheelchair, that was kind of like the highlight for their family.
Yeah.
So,
but it's amazing all the different things that they got to do because of the community and everyone giving so much, and to just really love around him.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
The parents called in from Kentucky, and it was amazing what happened in Kentucky.
I want to say that was our third show.
Our third show
Sure.
when they called in from Kentucky. And,
Wow.
they were creating some memories for Ozzy before he passed away, and they had gone back to Kentucky, and a lot of the things that the community did there for him were just really valuable to the latter part of his life.
They did like a little parade and everything.
Oh, that's
it
so
was
cool.
really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Really cool.
It was powerful.
So, Devin, you mentioned culture last time.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate a little bit on the culture that you see with Kickin Cancer?
Yeah, a big part of the culture is community driven. Again, you look at a lot of these other larger foundations and charitable type businesses, and they're exactly that. They're a business. Like, yes, they give money to people, but when everything's said and done, I always see it like this big funnel. They have a big ask, and then money comes in, and then it kind of gets paid here and paid there, and then there's a little bit left that goes out to the families, and something is better than nothing, which is great. But I really love the Kickin Cancer, like the fact that, like Matt said earlier, like they had to bring you on board full time. Like, I don't think people realize that you weren't even a full-time employee in your own business, so that you could make sure people were getting the absolute most amount of donations possible. And just looking at something like that, the amount of servitude and just selflessness that it takes for somebody to step back, or a company in general to step back and say, we want as much of this to benefit the families as we possibly can. And that is a huge piece of culture, is selflessness. In a world where everything has become so driven about what can I get, to see a company or a business or whatever you want to call it, like Kickin Cancer, where they say, hey, we just want to be an integral piece of the whole puzzle, is huge. And that's a big part of the culture, getting other people on board with rallying and helping, rather than just what can we get from it? What can all of these people do, or how can we bring all of these people together to best benefit whoever it is that needs the help? And I think that's really cool. And a big part of that, like you said, was Jennifer. And I don't know all of Jennifer's story, but I just remember you saying that she had told you a few times that she didn't want anything.
Right.
And she said, if I go, make sure that you do not do anything. And Baron, being Baron, was like, well, and long story short, we ended up with the Jennifer Beaumont Play It Forward tournament, which was amazing. And we created a golf tournament where we then took those proceeds and donated them to somebody else in her name. So even though she was a part of Kickin Cancer and no longer with us, she was still part of that culture, which is huge. And that's what I love most about this incorporation.
That really became a catalyst towards a tournament we did later that year.
Absolutely.
For another person.
Yeah, and that was somebody that was close to home for me. A family friend of ours was diagnosed with cancer, didn't have very long to live, and in about, weeks, we put a tournament together, and we're able to get the entire company, the community, and everybody in between to rally around, and I think we almost packed out that tournament with less than 2 months.
And a lot of purple.
Yeah, a lot of purple on that course.
On that course, that's right.
But that's phenomenal. So I think that is really what speaks to the culture of Kickin Cancer and where their heart is. And I love that.
Yeah. I think the real key is, where do we go next? Where do we go next is the big question with the organization and with the community. And how does the community see Kickin Cancer? And I know that you are in the community quite a bit, Matt. How does the community view Kickin Cancer?
I think the community as a whole really views it positively. What's been really fun for me, and probably Devin for sure, is the last couple of years when you present at Salem Chamber. It's a moment that you get to showcase what Kickin Cancer does, but you also get to tell a story. And it's very rare that you're not emotional every time you do it. But to watch how the community responds. I mean, almost every single time it's been a standing ovation. People come up and they just rally behind you and say, Baron, we believe in what you do. We believe in your vision. We believe in what you want to do with this organization. And you took it from just being a Baron idea to now we have KISS on radio who is on board with it. We have a YouTube channel and a podcast growing out of it. We have an entire education, basically department, you could say, if you're talking company, and a whole education department with a couple individuals who are fully focused on that. We have grant writing in-house, and you've grown a vision of wanting to support your sister and coming alongside Brenda and saying, I want to bring community around you to say you're not alone.
Right.
And you took it from one person that you wanted to help, and you've helped hundreds just over the last few years, whether it's been through the one individual specifically or their family members who have been blessed because of what you've done.
Right.
And so it's really cool just to watch. And so the community has rallied that. Like Devin was saying, it's not about the organization getting a bunch of money. It's not what we do. It's about how can we sacrificially help the family. And the community sees that. They see that we're not in it for a profit. We're not in it to grow somebody's name. We're in it to grow support.
Right.
And we're growing a brand, but the brand is hope and encouragement and love and education and sacrifice for individuals.
And that's a key part of all this messaging that we've got going on. So
you have a heart of gold, and your love for your sister and your community and the education piece and people's health is contagious, and it radiates off of you. Those were things that were not even on my radar until I met you. And the more that you and I got close, it was like, wow, this is awesome. It was contagious. And each one teach one.
Exactly.
And so it's just been awesome. I was just telling Devin when he came in last and talked Crumble Cookie. In 2025, I have yet to buy Crumble Cookie. I mean, there's things that I still learn on each of our episodes that I apply to my own life. And I just love that about you, because you want to touch as many people as you possibly can to just make them healthy and make them better, whether you get anything out of it or not. I mean, our podcast and going out to other people, it's just educating them. And because you want people to be better, you want us to be a cancer-free society, you want us to just be healthy. And that takes a heart of gold.
And you want nothing in return.
Yeah.
You're not asking for a thing.
No. You're a pretty amazing human being.
well, I appreciate that.
Truly.
I appreciate
truly,
that.
Truly.
And I love what Devin said at the break too, just talking about the podcast. You know, what was those numbers?
Most podcasts fail by the 13th episode.
13th episode.
And this is the 50th episode.
Yeah.
So we're surviving. We're surviving.
The anniversary is
Thriving.
April 29th.
April 29th.
1 year.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. That's awesome.
So can I ask you, what's your biggest moment of this whole journey?
Seeing the number of lives that have been helped I think the biggest challenge has also been seeing the numbers that didn't make it.
Yeah.
You know, that burden weighs heavy on my heart sometimes.
Yeah.
And but at the same time, hearing the success stories has been really powerful at the same time. So, no, I appreciate everything that's been going on around us.
And I think you sharing their stories of the ones that didn't make it, that's that gives other hope and strength
Yeah.
to people.
So
That relation to those stories.
And it teaches. That's how you continue to teach, and you don't let them die in vain, and you continue to teach so that other people can make corrections or just know. People don't know what they don't know, and education is power. And I was so blind to so much before you. So I can only imagine how many others are out there that are just like me.
Wait for the right voice to come along.
Yeah, yeah.
So you asked me a question a little bit ago, where do we see ourselves going? Where are we growing? What do we want to do? I want to ask you the same question. Where do you see this going?
I see us going to many more locations. And of course, finding that key person in that location that can make that location work is always the critical part. And then continue the education piece as it grows out from there. And then finding the right person in each community to build that community out. Nikki Meiser's been a great addition up in the Vancouver area.
Yeah.
And of course, now I think with Cindy over in the Bend area, she'll be a great asset over there as well. But I don't know where it's going to go. And that's the challenge. I don't know where it's going to go.
How many states is Kickin Cancer touching already?
I believe that we have at least a hat or a shirt or something in 40 states.
Wow.
40 states.
40
Wow.
states.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's
It's
and that doesn't count the countries.
No.
Because they're in
Yeah.
countries as well, not
Yeah.
just states.
well, we have Jill that's on our board, and she's gone to Iceland, and we have Ricky who's gone down to South America, and they always leave something down there in that community down in other areas. So, yeah, it's way bigger than I ever expected. Way bigger than I ever expected.
That's awesome. And you guys have the Dragon Boat coming up,
Yes.
right? Can we
Yes.
touch on that?
So, the end of June is the annual Dragon Boat race. And that's something that the World Beat hosts, and we bring a charity dragon boat down there. There's going to be 3 dragon boats this year, and so it's a chance to get on the boat as a paddler, and we encourage you to raise $500 to be on the boat. But then the day of is just an absolutely thrilling day for the excitement of the event. And then you had another one on there, Matt, as well.
Yeah, so the Dragon Boat race is June 28th.
Right.
And it's down at Riverfront Park here in Salem. So it's a great time, even if you aren't on the boat. So yes, we want you on the boat. We'd love to have you there. But come down for the day of, because the day of festivities are incredible.
And how many paddlers fill each boat?
It's 20 paddlers per boat.
Okay, so looking for 60 paddlers total then?
Well, each boat has their own paddlers.
Gotcha.
So we're looking for 20 on ours. We just need
Okay, so there'll be 3 boats there.
There'll be 3 boats there.
One specific for Kickin Cancer.
Right, so Kickin Cancer will have a boat. There'll be a boat for the Alzheimer's Association,
Okay.
and there'll be one more boat for Beloved Health.
Nice.
So can you tell us about last year?
I was
did
going to
Kickin
say,
Cancer do last year?
So last year's race was quite interesting because all 3 boats started at the same time, and Liberty House slid back a little bit. I'm sorry, United Way slid back a little bit, but Liberty House and Kickin Cancer were kind of side by side the whole way. And right towards the end, when they saw the finish line, a few of the people started celebrating a little too early. And the momentum was gone. And somebody on the boat said, "Don't stop paddling yet." And we did wind up finishing first place in that
Yep.
race.
Got to run through the ribbon.
Yes. So you guys
Or
won.
paddle through the ribbon.
We did win. We did win.
Which is super awesome.
Yeah, we really did win.
And that
last year.
was Liberty House, United Way, and you.
And Kickin
Kickin
Cancer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this year, who is it?
So this year it's Kickin Cancer, the Alzheimer's Association, and Beloved Health.
Okay.
Scott Mills is at.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Looking for a 2-peat.
That's right.
I mean, everybody's a winner, but
Yeah.
Why not be Kickin
Why
Cancer?
not? Why not?
Right.
Why not? So what did you have there to mention, Matt?
Yeah, so also May 30th through June 1st is our Cancer Awareness Weekend baseball games
Correct.
at the Volcano Stadium, or the Mavericks League
Yeah.
Stadium.
Right.
So come out, support the organization both through the stadium, but also with Kickin Cancer. We have people throwing first pitches at every game, whether they're current battlers or survivors. right?
Yeah, and if you are a survivor and you'd like to go to that game for free, all you got to do is email tickets@mavsleague.com, and you and your whole family could go to that game for free.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, will you guys have the was it red versus blue first responders
Oh,
softball?
that was
Is that
cool.
So that softball game is going to be in July,
Oh, okay.
and that's
The
the
fun continues.
hometown hero game.
Yeah, that's what it is. Hometown Heroes.
Hometown hero game on that one. So,
That one's cool.
yeah, there's a lot of activities planned as the
Good
summer
thing for
progresses
gaming.
out.
Website.
So the website is kicking-cancer.org, and there's some of the events, and all of these we've been talking about are on there. There's an interesting timeline item that happened for Kicking Cancer as we were progressing along. Morgan Davis, who's on our board, I had met her through Kevin Mannix, and really bright young lady, asked her if she had joined the board of directors. She said yes. Right after getting her diagnosis, right after joining the board, she had her diagnosis of thyroid cancer. And
Which is almost like a God moment thing, because I feel like he placed her right in the center of all of the people that could support her the best.
yeah, her whole group of people there at Kevin Max's firm, they supported her. I gave a phone call to the board. I said, one of our own has cancer. Can we find a way to help? And so we signed up for the Kaiser Fest parade, and we all walked with Morgan
Wow.
as the parade played out.
Yeah.
Were you there at that
I
parade?
was, yeah.
So that was a fun day there too.
That was. And how did that turn out? She beat it, right?
She had to have a radiation. She did beat it. She and her, which to be spouse, headed off to India, and she took a little time there to do some discovery of herself, and now she has a business down in San Diego.
She recently got engaged.
And she recently got engaged, yeah.
Yes.
She's
Okay.
doing very
That's
good.
awesome.
That's awesome.
So-
And she's still on the board.
And she's still on the board.
That was 3 years ago?
That was three years ago, yeah.
Okay.
3 years ago that she was there doing that walk, so.
I actually remember, so I heard about the walk during the Kaiser Parade, but that was right after I started Miller's Barbecue.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I had just started hearing about kicking cancer and a variant of what you were doing. And I actually heard about that walk, not knowing Morgan or anything about her story. And I still heard about it. So it was
It
pretty
is
cool.
filtered out to you as well. Yeah, that was amazing how many people showed up for that walk as well.
It was cool.
That's
Yeah.
huge. I love that aside from the educational pieces, which not only do you provide every time you're on the podcast at the beginning or sometimes an entire episode. I know I've done some both from the perspective of audiology and then also from health and fitness. But the amount of community events there are, and like it was said at the beginning, everybody knows somebody that has gone through cancer. So what better way to support it as a whole, or somebody that you know, or a friend that's going just to support someone they know, to go do something fun.
Right.
If you're going to donate, that's great, but to be able to donate and then go play golf or go to a baseball game or a fun run, walk, country music event,
Yeah.
like that, to me, like that's culture.
Right.
And that's what I love, is it's more than just, hey, donate and we'll make sure it goes to the person. It's come be a part of what not only everybody's experiencing, but this person that we're rallying around is able to enjoy it with them, doing life together.
Yes. And they say that positivity can actually help the healing process as
Oh,
well. So
yeah.
getting out and
Yeah.
getting that support and doing those fun activities and feeling the nature around you, all of that only helps 10 times more.
It is amazing what's happened over the years of watching people show up for others
Yeah.
and how that is contagious as it spreads out.
And then you leave those events and you want to go do more. Like nobody leaves an event that you're rallying around somebody and seeing all of these great things and be like, okay, well, I'm going to go home and do nothing. You're
Right.
like, wow, what can I do or
What's
support
next?
or yeah, what's next?
What's next?
And so I love that. And it's all these pieces that just fit really well together from every step of the way.
Yeah. And it spreads not only from our organization, but to other organizations.
Yes.
Because those individuals who want to do more take that piece of culture that you've ingrained or we've ingrained into the next place.
Like me.
Yeah. It just keeps growing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
have
awesome.
you seen it in other organizations that you've been around, Matt?
I have actually hearing people just talk about it both with Liberty House. I'm also on another board with Salt Roofing Northwest, and people talk about kicking cancer. And so it's been neat to just hear the impact because of what you do.
Oh, that's really great. That's really great to hear.
Well, for anybody that got all of those events that are coming up, how would they get a hold of you?
So once again, you go to kicking-cancer.org. There's an events tab on there, and then you can see everything that's coming up. You can also, there's a spot there for my email address, and you can contact me that way as well.
Or they can reach out on Facebook too.
Yeah, and we have a
Facebook or
we have a
Instagram.
Facebook page, Instagram page. All those are ways to reach out and let us know you'd like to get involved.
Those links will be somewhere here.
Somewhere in this area.
All right, you guys, huge shout out to Venti's Restaurant. If you're looking for vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just some really good food, go down to Venti's Restaurant, and we will be back next week
As the movement continues.